some shit. Just walking around. Keep wobbling, wibbly wobbly. Whoa! Yeah! Oh dear. Yeah, right. I am a selfie stick. Hello, darling. You right?
Hair and everything. It'd be a weird guy to get molested by.
What an intro. Let's go. Hello, gentlemen. Bangkok, City of Legends.
Yes, sir.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
Thought we'd introduce ourselves.
The inauguration.
There you go. That word has lost some of its spirit
Right.
recently.
Yeah, because they had to do it indoors.
So yeah, I thought we'd introduce ourselves and talk about why the fuck we came to Thailand in the first place and our first impressions. You know.
Yeah. Sounds good.
For when we have fans, they can look back at this in
Right.
posterity.
For all these people that want to learn more about us.
So, yeah, my name's Chris Cook. I'm one of the co-founders of the comedy joint here. Hey. And yeah, I came to Thailand when I was 15 years old, which didn't fuck me up at all, honest.
You seem well adjusted.
Yeah, sure, man.
You turned out okay.
So I was 25 years ago, so Thailand's changed a bit since then, but not too much. And I've lived in first Koh Tao, being a scuba diving instructor, and then in Bangkok a bit for my family. Going from Koh Tao as a hippie, smoking way too much weed, to Bangkok was a weird transition.
You were working as a scuba instructor at 15, or?
No. So I first came here with my family as like a kid. My sisters went to school here. I stayed in England, partly because my parents were scared what growing up as a teenager in Bangkok would do for a boy.
They thought you.
They were completely wrong.
They thought you would transition.
But, I don't know, just too much temptation, too much fun. I remember like walking around at that age, like, and you end up in seedy places. I'm sure it's easier to get a drink underage now, but back then it was quite hard. Actually, the bars were really careful not to serve underage people, and so there were two ways. There was that high road, which was going into a fancy club, but buying a bottle, and once you bought a bottle, you kind of skipped the ID checks and the, like the golden rule. You just went through. So like Bed Supper Club or whatever. I'll only mention places that have closed, so I won't get anyone in trouble.
Did you look 15 when you were 15? Because you're what?
No, and I was also 6 foot. So,
Right, I imagine you were this size.
Yeah, they normally wouldn't ID me, but they'd ID my friends. And
He
I
came
was,
Oh, right,
He
yeah.
came out of the womb like this.
my poor mother,
Exactly.
no longer with us.
His mother's 1.55 meters.
So they wouldn't ID Uncle Chris, but they'd ID your friends.
But this is funny because you know how racists think all Asians look the same. Well, it works both ways.
100%.
And I have got, this is after I was old enough, I've gotten like 6 people in on the same ID, just sort of handing it over the fence.
Oh, you do the shuttle.
The next guy shows his ID and the guy's like, oh yeah, then same, right? Like they wouldn't be able to tell the 3 of us
However,
apart.
you look quite distinct. I mean,
Right, there's a size aspect here.
there's a lot going on. No.
Yeah.
It would be
The
weird
next guy
to
just
be
like-
offended at that. None of that's shown on the passport photo. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
You know, it is true though that a lot of Thai people think all white people look alike. Like any big bald white guy, my wife always goes, "Hey, look, it's Brian." Like, that is not Brian.
So yeah, came here young. It was weird. And then if you couldn't go into the fancy clubs, the other place you could get a drink was like the red light district type places. So you're there like playing pool, drinking.
Oh, so
chicha.
like going to normal bar? No, but going to red light district, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
because a normal bar would ID you and say, no, you're too young. Get
So
the
you
fuck
were
out.
playing pool with the women of ill repute at
Ladies of the
15
night.
Nothing wrong with their repute. I've met worse people in Bangkok.
in a bawdy house.
It was really interesting though because, like, I was, a terrified virgin, right? And
All of a sudden, you're a handsome man.
but you think it'll be sexy, but it's not. It's just fear of God. And these ladies, you realise we weren't customers, so they were just pretty chill. But then you'd see when an actual customer came in, the mask would go on and the personality would, and they'd change gears. And so, just from a really young age, I've just been really turned off by the whole idea of paying for sex. Partly because I'm just such a narcissist, I need people to love me.
Right.
And once you pay, you
That's
just
why
don't
you're
feel
still
that
a virgin.
love. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, it's a weird city to grow up in. And
He has a kid, but somehow he's still a virgin. IVF.
His kid is called Jesus. Yeah, hi, my name is Stefan Bogner. I came here for a job. So I work in research here. And my now director just wrote me a message like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in Vienna. Cool, you want to come to Bangkok? And at the time I didn't have a partner, I didn't have like a house or something, but I had somewhere to live. I didn't live under a bridge. I just came to Bangkok because I thought like one last adventure before I turned 40. And then I stayed for all the craziness. So that's what brought me here.
Bangkok does have a way of keeping you here.
Yeah, it's quite, I think it's a quite, if you're in a Western salary, I think it's a quite affordable city in the sense of like your taxi costs like €5 or something to go where. Street food is super affordable. So, but you have all the luxury of like healthcare is super good, for instance. So if something happens, the doctors are pretty same level as I would say in Europe. So that's good.
Yeah, I like in principle. I believe in socialized medicine. I like the Canadian system. It has its problems, but I also like being able to just go to a private hospital and be like, all right, chop chop.
No, but maybe we should explain to the people online, like private hospital look like hotels there. Like last time my girlfriend sent me a picture of like a viola player playing viola for the poor people who were waiting and stuff like this. So it's like luxury.
Yeah, there's chandeliers.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in every hospital, but
In the ones I frequent.
you have good insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good standard of life here. There used to be a lot of people coming to Thailand like you with working for international companies. Thailand used to be like the central hub of Asia, and it's less so now. I think part of it's been the military coup has scared some people away. There's just other bases, like a lot more people live in Indonesia, Malaysia maybe, Vietnam. Thailand used to be kind of the main development hub of Southeast Asia, and as the other countries have caught up, I think it's more spread.
There's
It's
a lot of
not
that.
all here in Bangkok.
A lot of that in Phnom Penh as well, because there's lots to develop over there. Lots to research.
Yeah. No, but I enjoy it here. It's and people are very friendly to us, right? Like, when you've been here for a long time, I was told like deep down inside they hate us. But what is without offending anybody, of course, that's just its job. But but like, but like the first impression is always like "Sawadee welcome sir," and very nice and smiley, and you don't have it in. I lived in France. It's like the waiter spit in your coffee, and it's like, well, what do you want? Here it's like much more nice, smiley. At least the first contact.
Yeah, you get the rose tinted glasses though, because at first you think that's all genuine, and then you just realise that that's just quite surface level. They're polite to everyone. I wouldn't say they hate everyone. I'd say the Thais are fairly patient, laid back, easygoing. But if they hate you, they'll hide it well.
Yeah. No, but even like, I know it's fake somehow, this kind of, oh, we like you, but still it's a nice gesture when the first contact with a human being is like smiley and hello, welcome, instead of like, oh, what do you want?
Yeah.
So that's, but have you seen the change in Thais' perception or actions towards strangers in the last 15 years or 20 years you've been here?
So the big thing is just novelty. We've gone from being, oh, Farang, to now you have to go pretty remote, rural, to really make an impression. And even then, like, you know, Isan is littered with bird shit from Farang, who are the world's worst English teachers, and then complaining about the standard of English here, and you're like, dude, you're like...
What
you're
hope
Polish.
do they have? Yeah.
You're the problem.
They have some Russian girl as their English teacher. What do you expect?
She sells by seashore.
I support the Polish people struggling. It's the English people who are the world's shittest teachers and have a hangover every morning and are only here because, you know, girls will talk to them and the beer is half price. And then, yeah, they're no qualifications to be teaching whatsoever. Absolutely atrocious at it. And then they complain.
I used to be an English teacher. I won't name the school. But it's meant to be a pretty reputable Thai private school.
And even you got in.
Yeah, well, here's how fucked up it was. I was one of the best teachers at that school. That's how those poor kids, it's like no wonder they can't speak English.
How long did you teach?
5 years. And then I realized I was doing comedy like every night, staying out till 2, 3 in the morning, getting up at 6, doing my first class wasted. I had my own classroom.
I've been swaying at assembly when they're singing the songs and some Filipinos at the front doing head, shoulders, knees and toes, and you're just trying not to vomit or
Yeah.
fall over.
But I had my own classroom, which was nice, and there was a lot of downtime, sometimes like 3 hours between classes, and I would
Have a
not
nap.
even nap, full blown just sleep. And then at one point I realized I was like, I need to get a different job, like in my field here, because I'm gonna wake up from one of these naps and I'm gonna be one of these 50-year-old guys that's still teaching here. But on
Angrily
the
complaining on ThaiVisa.com.
that's right.
What made you come in the first place?
I was planning on going to teach English in either Japan or Korea. I was leaning towards Japan because I kept alternating back home in Canada between office jobs and manual labor jobs, and then hating both equally, but for different reasons. So I was like, I need to do something else here. Are you? What's going on technically? We're good.
Nothing technical.
All right, thank you. Does this mean I'm allowed to talk? I have the marble.
This is his anal beat.
Right. Okay. Well, let me pop that in and continue my story. No. So yeah, I was planning on going to Japan. I was planting trees in northern Manitoba at the time.
Does that pay well?
It pays per tree, and it was my 4th year doing it. So you get 10 cents per tree.
By trees, you mean weed, yeah.
No, like spruce trees.
Were you on ice road truckers?
No, it was in the springtime. They used the ice road. We would helicopter in sometimes because the roads were so like muddy.
This
and
place must have
swampy.
really needed trees, man.
Well, now we're way off topic here. This has nothing to do with Bangkok. But by law in Canada, and I'm pretty sure it's the same in most developed countries, the logging companies are legally required to replace every tree that they cut down. So they contract that out to reforestation companies who then bid on the contract, say, okay, I can do it for under $1 million. They get awarded the contract. They hire a bunch of tree planters. They drive us in. We plant the trees. We get paid per tree. And so by the end, I was making $300-400 a day, like 3,500 probably averaging. So I was planting trees. But anyway, I would call my dad every day off. And then he was like, hey, there's a job at the Bangkok embassy, or the Canadian embassy in Bangkok. I'm not qualified, but I'm going to apply. And I was like, cool, go for it. And then the following week, he was like, you know that job I'm not qualified for? I got an interview. And then the following, he's like, yeah, that job that I didn't think I would do well during the interview, I got the job. So I was like, Bangkok. That sounds way cooler than Japan. And at the time, this is probably boring, but at the time, my little brother had just finished high school. So he's still technically a dependent of my father's. So he did a gap year before uni, and the government, like the Canadian government, basically just paid for all of his expenses to live here in Bangkok for a year. They paid for his flights. They even gave him like an allowance. I didn't get any of that shit. But my dad and my brother were here, so I figured, all right, I'll join them. I was planning on, I found my own place, but I'd still go see them pretty often. But planning on being here for like a year, and 12 years later, I'm still here.
Okay.
And still a virgin.
Why would you plan to move a place having never been here? Unless you're an absolute weirdo.
I knew...
Running from something back home.
I
Did you
knew
know something about Bangkok before?
nothing. I knew, like, I was so ignorant. I didn't even Google it. Like, I found a job here. I didn't even know what was going on in this city. I didn't know anything. And honestly, I came here expecting stereotype Thailand of like 100 years ago. I was expecting elephants in the streets.
But like how Americans see England, like, oh, do you know the Queen?
Yeah,
They all
right.
ride round on horses.
Yeah, you got that one red phone booth and the guy in the itchy wool sweater. Yeah, and I moved here and I was like, oh, it's a real city. That's crazy. There's a SkyTrain and business district.
When was
and
that? What year?
skyscrapers. 2013.
Okay.
My grandpa, my French-Canadian grandfather, when I moved here, he was like, hey, Justin, you're moving to Thailand? Maybe you're going to meet a nice Chinese girl.
I mean, there are a lot of Chinese women here.
I mean, fair enough. And I kind of did. But he thinks he dropped out of school in grade 6 to go work on the railroad. But he thinks Asia is China. And then all the countries in Asia are just
Provinces.
provinces of China.
I mean, they kind of are, but
he's not that
that should be another episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's get into that one.
Let's get a Chinese person in here to say it, and we're all like shocked and surprised. Like,
Right.
what? No way. So yeah, first impressions when I came here, just wild. Like, just a huge city. I'd come from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which was its own kind of crazy, but the city like hugs the coast so much that you never get a feeling of like it going just deep. In Bangkok, you drive from the airport and it just keeps going. It's just skyscraper after skyscraper after skyscraper for so far. And there's so many huge highways and underpasses and SkyTrain. It's just bigger than anything you can comprehend. You arrive with jet lag, and you're like, I'm hot, I'm tired, this makes no sense. My brain can't even compute this.
Somehow it still works though.
Yeah.
It is such a giant urban sprawl that never really ends. That's one thing that blew my mind. Like in Canada, it's a huge country.
A town has a center, right?
Right. So you drive away from downtown, and then if you leave the city, and then you're on the way to another city, and there's just forest and fields in between. If you drive from here to Pattaya, you're never really out of Bangkok. Like it's all connected. There's no in-between parts.
But I feel like you as an expert, you tend to stay in some areas. You would not spend time in any of the outskirts, for instance.
Yeah, well, I mean, my in-laws,
Oh, okay, that's
they live in Champon, but in Map Amarit, not even Map Amarit. They run a rubber tree plantation.
Chumpon's down south.
Yeah, like mainland Koh Tao, basically.
Yeah, where you get the ferry to
Yeah.
Koh Tao, Koh Samui.
Yeah, and by the way, the novelty of being a Falang has not worn off in that village, because my mother and father-in-law, out of their living room, they have a mom and pop shop. So people go in and buy beer and chips and cigarettes and whatever. And whenever I'm there, they get
"Hey, Vladimir Putin."
they get like triple the business. Yeah, because Vladimir Putin's there.
You're just the mascot.
Yeah, say they should get a cardboard cutout of me.
Do you have to juggle or something?
No, but they
do
just.
you get a nose ring and they parade you around like the town square?
I'm already freakish enough.
like with horns on his shoes.
That is the key to traveling Thailand, is going somewhere, like finding the sweet spot. Because if you go somewhere where they've never seen a Farang, like parts of India, where there will be like a queue of people, traffic will stop and people will want to
I think
selfie
Thailand,
with you.
even in rural areas, I went to Chiang Mai and all this, it's they have seen you. But in Indonesia, so we went to Samarinda, which is a coal mining region, and like it was very funny because like it was I googled what's to do in Samarinda, and like the first trip advice,
Coal mining.
the mosque. So I was like, okay, me as an atheist, I'm going to the mosque. And it's a big fuck of mosque, and then like everyone was staring at me, and then there was a group of girls, and like they put their heads together, and so the brave was like, Mr. and photo, and then everybody, and then like, they came in droves, and I had to take pictures with them. So Indonesia, this exists still, but exists still in Thailand. This
Not
kind
as
of
much.
novelty?
In
Yeah,
Myanmar,
rural.
the year before COVID and before that country, never mind, we don't need to get into it, but there was like totally being a celebrity too. I was doing a show with this Mexican-American guy, and we were walking around together, and he's kind of short and Mexican-looking. So everyone wanted to take pictures with me, because I'm like just a giant lily-white guy.
It's fun, but it wears thin fast. And it's hard to have a genuine conversation with people when I say you're like a celebrity, and people will see you an hour later and be like, "That's him, the white person we've been talking about. We've heard about you."
Right.
Okay, man.
Hey, look, it's Conan O'Brien.
Giant British person who knows the Queen personally.
Yeah.
Well, that's America. They're all so weird. But yeah, and it is possible in Thailand. There's definitely places where, like, anywhere that's just not on the tourist trail.
Yeah.
So, Chiang Mai, Pai, the islands, even Isan, where a lot of, the Farang that we dump, like the rejects of our society end up. But if you're just in like middle of, like Uttaradit, so halfway on the way to Chiang Mai, you guys haven't even heard.
I've never
But they get, but it's it's a medium-sized city. But I was one of 3 Farang in that city, and so yeah.
Hey, going back to your question of like, is it genuine? This, because Thai people are very friendly and smiley and welcoming. I think that anyone that deals with tourists on a regular basis, it's it's an external
Short-term
friendliness
love, yeah.
and an internal.
It's professional courtesy.
But if you go anywhere, as Chris is saying, off the beaten path, I think it is really genuine. I think because Thai people are super welcoming. Like they want you to feel part of the team. They'll, come on in, let's have a drink, whatever.
Ridiculously so. So
Yeah.
I've had a point where like they will be like, oh, where are you going? And you like show them on a map. This is, you know, pre-smartphone days. And they would be like, oh, cool, hop in my pickup and I'll take you there.
That's how you lost a kidney?
No, right? You think it's the start of a horror film, and then you're like, okay, like, are you heading this way? Was it on your way? And he's like, no, I'm going back to where I picked you up from. And you're like, can I give you some money? And he's like, no, you're a guest in my home. It's my responsibility to take care of you. And part of this was like all of the teachings of the old king and Buddhism, but Thai people take it really seriously. Like hospitality, they feel it's their like sense of honor to be a good, gracious host. Now that gets ruined by mass tourism.
Right, because we take advantage of it.
Yeah.
We abuse their kindness on a regular basis. But like, okay, group of like random dudes at night, normally your danger spidey senses start kicking in. But in Thailand, they'll just be like, hey, come have a drink. And you'll be like, all right, I guess I'll hang out with
They'll
these guys.
happily like hand you their spliff or a bottle of whiskey or whatever, and just because it's just a bit of entertainment for the night, just have a white guy to crack jokes with.
Yeah.
So it's lovely, but I just, my heart breaks imagining a Thai person visiting England and expecting similar treatment from the Brits.
Different story, but there is apparently in the Japanese embassy in Paris, they have what we call the Paris syndrome. So like Japanese people, they hear like, oh, Paris looks like Amélie Poulain, right? Everybody's like nice with their baguettes and the mustaches and like green everywhere. And then they arrive at Gare du Nord or something like this.
Right.
It looks like a war zone. And then they are so like so shocked by this that they have to call the embassy and they have to be flown back to Japan because they couldn't handle the realness of it.
Yeah, the French tourist board is good at marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, they do good like photo cropping. Like, all right, here's the Eiffel Tower. We're not going to show
Paris
you.
is beautiful. It's just a shame it's full of so many Parisians. You go, again, same with Bangkok. You go outside of the city and people are very nice, very friendly.
Exactly the same here. Like there's so many different. Like I feel Bangkok is the only city, or like one of the few cities where there's so many types of Bangkok, right? Because you have these kind of, we call them high society people, like who drives Porsche and Ferraris and Teslas, and you go to the fancy cocktail bars, and like where a cocktail costs 600 baht, which is like $15 or something like this. And then you go 2 streets to the right, and there's like slums, and you
Right, there's no zoning in this city.
you have like food for $2 or something, like this, people drinking moonshine or something, and then you have like different sorts of entertainment, right? You have like the sexual entertainment, you have sports, you have everything actually. You can choose. You said that.
I will say in a future episode.
I'm having visions again.
But it is like such a international metropolis that you never really, you almost feel like you're not in Thailand. Like Bangkok is its own thing.
Yeah.
And then you go elsewhere, or you go outside the BTS bubble a little bit, and then you're like, okay, I'm in Thailand now. But you really just feel like you're almost like at an international airport or something.
Yeah.
And Farang, Bangkok, the Thais barely deal with it at all, right?
Yeah.
Like they'd see Asok Azar, Sukhumvit 11. Like,
Our zoo.
yeah.
They go
Khao San Road. Like,
By the way, though, with the nice cars, I passed a Ferrari in traffic the other day.
your car's technically better.
Yeah, right. In my little Honda Civic.
You won a drag race.
Right. Well, he didn't know the roads as well, so I knew how to like jump ahead of him and then get onto the bridge. And I was like, your Ferrari's useless.
This drives my Germanic brain insane. The tendency of drivers, as soon as there is like, they have to wait for 10 seconds in traffic, they change lanes, which then creates more delay and more traffic jams.
It is inefficient.
It's very
Why is this
inefficient,
city so inefficient?
I hate this.
Yeah, it is infuriating. You just gotta, you have to drive like that though here.
Yeah.
So otherwise you won't get where you're going. It's like water. You have to just kind of flow with it.
But it's such an instinct that sometimes it fucks everything up. I've only seen it in Bangkok and Las Vegas. People pushing so much that just the whole junction grinds to a halt. You know, at a point where it's filled with traffic going both ways, so no one can go anywhere. Yeah. And I watched this happen in Vegas and just like, and Bangkok as well, they push when they shouldn't, they get in their own way.
Yeah, totally. But then I get mad at everyone around me for doing it, but when I do it, I don't get mad
You had
at
your
myself.
reasons.
Like there's this one intersection that I have to turn right to get onto the highway, and there's a through lane and like 3 right turn lanes. And people always just go on the through lane and then cut a hard left in front, and then it creates a log jam.
Every time.
And it infuriates me unless I'm the one doing it.
And what will they do to fix that? Some guys will notice it and start selling some stuff, right? To
Yeah,
all the
like the
cars
flowers.
passing traffic. I saw a guy in like a full teddy bear costume, but it just looked like a horror movie shit. Because it's just teddy bear roaming around, giant teddy bear. I'm like, fucking hell. And, he's selling cookies. I'm like, would not wind down my window for that.
He has a machete.
Not even a good costume, like self-stitched.
Yeah,
Like, one eye lower than the other, scary
man.
looking. Yeah.
So what was the first moment then when you really realized, fuck, this isn't Kansas anymore. This is a weird, strange place. What was your first big moment of culture shock?
Well,
Any
that was
stories
actually,
that spring to mind?
For me, it was like, I moved to Bangkok from Vienna, right? And you can think of rankings, whatever you want, but Vienna has always been consistently ranked as the most livable city on the planet, right? And in Vienna, I was on my bike all the time, green space, bike lanes, etc. So I was used to that, and I come to Bangkok, and the traffic is just insane. And for like 2 weeks, I was sitting on my bed. What did I do? And everything is too much sometimes here, I feel, right? It's like no. Even if you live here, you get to know, oh, for that size, it's actually not quiet, but it's manageable.
Mm.
But like coming from a quiet, in Vienna, everything closes on Sunday, for instance, right? There's no shopping or something. And coming from this kind of big city, but quiet, to Bangkok was chaos. And then like motorbikes on the sidewalk. There is no sidewalk. Sidewalk has holes. There's an electricity pole in the middle of the fucking sidewalk. It's like, that was very like as a pedestrian, you don't have much space here. And so you have to oblige to take a taxi or to drive. That was something that really flicked me out.
So I always wonder this, I imagine Bangkok scores really low if you actually rank it on a bunch of metrics like pollution or traffic, but somehow it's better than those places in some hard to define thing.
Well, I think it depends on...
Have you found the metrics? I'm just not as good at maths as
Yeah,
you.
I introduced it as a matrix. No, but it depends also on...
It's like the hot, crazy Matrix.
No, that's a good point. There's a friend of mine, he was a foodie, right? And he said, like, if he could choose, same job, but choose any city, he would choose Bangkok because it's true, you have Japanese, Spanish restaurants, German, everything what you want. But I like culture, like museums and galleries, and they're not as advanced as we are in the West here. There are some museums, but they change rarely the exhibitions.
They just didn't conquer enough countries to steal enough shit. The British Museum is lit. Like, amazing.
So for some people, like foodies, ease of getting around and have the money for it, Bangkok is super.
Sex tourists?
Sex tourism, exactly. But if you say like for instance, air quality is really like it's an important thing for some people, and it's like for
breathing, I'm bored
3,
of
4
it.
months. Yeah.
My brother said Bangkok's the only place where you have to go. Let's go inside and get some fresh air.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
What was your cultural shock moment then, Justin?
No specific moment, but losing 14 times straight at Connect 4.
This is interesting.
So my first night here, I went to Pat Pong.
Okay.
And I was playing Connect 4 with this lady, and she went...
Is that a euphemism or?
No, literally playing Connect 4 with my penis. No. And
was
so
it
she said...
Was it red?
Yes, it was red. She was black.
Were you having to buy overpriced drinks this whole time?
She
as
went... Well, no, they were regularly priced. They were just San Miguel Lights. But she went, okay, if I win, you buy me a drink. If you win, I buy you a drink. But let's just play for fun. She let me beat her. And then she proceeded to beat me 14 times in a row.
Okay.
Were you sober?
Not by the end of it.
But these like scams, and again, you only pay 20 quid, and
I thought it was
an
fun.
evening entertainment.
Yeah.
But how can you scam somebody at Connect 4?
No, she just beat me. She
you were just like very stupid.
Yeah, she just like hustled me.
Yeah.
I knew it was happening. I just let it happen.
But I feel like I was here in 2014 for the first time as a tourist. And what's your opinion, or maybe yours? The hustling was much more pronounced back then. Like I can remember, I was running around what is now Chinatown, like this kind of area, And every 10 meters, tuk tuk, my friend, tuk tuk, and they wouldn't leave. They would follow me. And here now,
Grab has
happens.
killed a lot of it. The apps have just made it. The apps
Yeah,
have just made it a lot easier. There used to be, especially in tourist areas, just so many drivers. I always said to people, if a driver is not in his taxi with the meter light on, he's not. It's like fish. If they're not swimming, like they're dead.
And their belly up. Probably the biggest moment of culture shock, though, now that I'm thinking of it. I came here.
Now you've recovered from your Connect 4
Yeah,
loss.
yeah. Well, I came here September 2013, I believe, and then May 2014 was the coup. That was wild.
That'll surprise you.
It happened on my birthday, May 22nd.
So it's your fault.
Yeah, it was and it was the weirdest thing. Like my Thai coworker, I was working at this language center, so the Thai co-teachers for every school that we went to. So there was a bunch of Thai colleagues, and they were just we're like, "What's going on? What's going to happen here?" And they're like, "Don't worry about it. It happens all the time." And it was wild.
You can age Farang by how many coups they've lived through.
Yeah, I was gonna go play hockey that night. My brother was gonna come hang out after the hockey, and he just went, "Hockey's canceled. There was a coup, and there's curfew, and there's like 7-Eleven closed."
Wow! Oh, that shit is
That's
bad.
and they put,
I didn't realize it was serious until 7-Eleven.
yeah, they put black
closed.
like garbage bags on all the windows, and I went home and I had a TV in my condo, and every channel was the same like blank message of like, okay, the whatever council has taken over. It was wild. And then like
It
next
was
week,
a bloodless coup, though, right?
totally tanks in the streets though. That's pretty crazy. And then they're just like taking selfies with us and stuff. But yeah, that was. They don't do that in Canada typically.
For
The
now.
tanks on the
Coop, there it is.
The tanks on the street is wild. Like I lived in Lebanon in Beirut for 9 months, and they're too. And I've never seen a tank in real life, so to speak. So that's coming from the privileged West. I think that's some wild shit. But 7-Eleven closing.
Yeah,
That's
that was the most traumatic part of it. And then things just carried on, kind of as usual. Under well, we don't need to get into it.
Everything's awesome. I had a.
What's yours?
Well, young, naive, virgin, 17 years old going out. And I just couldn't believe how pretty the girls were that were like trying to talk to me. And I'm like, are these girls? And it's funny because I whispered to my friends, are these girls prostitutes? And they were like, no, man, I'm just into you. And I'm like, why? Like, what's wrong with them? Like, and then funnily enough, like an hour later, and it's just, and again, you got to think for a young, innocent guy, the softball list of questions like, oh, who do you think's prettier, me or my sister? These girls are interested in flirting with me, and I don't know how to handle it. And then this guy comes up, and he's clearly like an American military guy here for a bit of R&R. And he's talking to this girl's sister, and he's being a bit aggressive. But yeah, she's fine, she's chill, she's being polite about it. And then he just goes, look, let's go. And she agrees to go with him. And then he asks her, like, how much? And she's furious and upset and comes over crying and is like, oh, da, da. And he's like, well, what's the problem? Like, come on, well, don't be a bitch about this. Like, just how fucking much? Like, come on. Like, and I'm like, mate, just... I get up and I go, mate, mind your fucking business. And I realize, like, I'm a child. This is a full-grown man in the military. And he's just like, it's none of your fucking business. And then I just pause, like, in terror. But he misreads that because I just tense up and, like, start.
And he was like, this guy's crazy.
And he's like, oh, is it your business? Are these your girls?
You were pimping.
He thought I was their pimp. and he just kind of gave me an out, the same as the girl who just had 5 minutes before asking, am I prettier than my friend, sort of thing. And so I just had enough intelligence to say, yeah.
Nice. You were like, listen here, Jack. I am the Mac Daddy.
That's how he made his first million.
This guy was so dumb. He was just like, and panicked and went, I'm sorry, and ran away. And I was like, well, that was a relief. But I just remember getting a taxi ride home and being like, this place is fucking mental. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I nearly got stabbed. If this guy was any smarter, I'd be in a lot of trouble right now.
But in his mind, you're fucking Iceberg Slim.
Who is that?
A famous pimp.
Okay. Why do you know that?
He wrote a book called Pimp.
Okay.
about the pimping game.
Okay. In Thailand or?
No, in America.
You have top 5 cities. Justin has top 5 pimps.
Yeah. It's a very good book. There's an audio book too, and it's always like, I said, bitch, you are nothing but a funky zero. Now go out there and get me my money. It's that kind of shit.
That was Justin's inspiration.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me think briefly.
One other thing on the, I went to Climax nightclub like my first week here.
Oh, Climax is special. Yeah.
And
Where is that?
Sukhumvit 11.
yeah,
Okay.
Is it still open?
I think so. I think they reopened. They moved somewhere else and now they're back at the same spot. But there are some working ladies there. And I thought they were just like all over me. And I just like, man, I really am a handsome man. And then I was like, wait a minute. I clued in after a little while. I was like, wait a minute. They all seem to be here alone. They seem like they're hunting. But the ego boost is still nice. I'll still take it.
Some of them are very subtle. Some of them will just ask you for money the next morning for the taxi ride home. You know,
The taxi
like,
costs 5,000 baht.
they charge me a lot less, man. Like, I thought you were more handsome than me,
200
but now
baht.
I'm starting to doubt it. Maybe to the Thai eyes.
I have no idea about the pricing.
or Connect 4. How,
Oh, Connect 4 I played.
Back in my...
I got 8.
That's how you win. In my single days, my first year here, strange lady came home to my apartment and we did some stuff. But then I woke up the next morning and she was gone. And so I freaked out. Like, okay, phone, wallet, money still in wallet, laptop, we're all good. But I had a stack of 10 baht coins that I used for the laundry machine downstairs. And my 50 baht of coins were gone.
just the one?
Yeah, so
From the taxi?
so
She charged by the minute.
Maybe
At 70 seconds, that was all she felt
they
comfortable
somehow
charging
nutted
you.
in negative time.
Maybe it ended up in her vagina.
Maybe. Call it the piggy bank.
I think we'll end the episode there. Thanks, guys. This has been Bangkok City of Legends.
Hop up in the city in a tuk-tuk. Make me putดังเลยความสุขสุข Hop up in the city in a
I did hear a
tuk-tuk.
knock.
Make me put ดังเลยความสุขสุข Hop up in the city in a tuk-tuk. Make me put ดังเลยความสุขสุข Hop up in the city in a tuk-tuk. ครูบอกว่าผมซนนะครับ Whipping down the city in a new style whip เย่กันขับรถกรุงเทพสุขุม